It's time to get your geek on with Dave Gramillion.
Ah, yes. Here we are once again on a beautiful Saturday night in sunny South Texas. It was sunny a little while ago, obviously not so much now. But, man, this weather is absolutely fantastic. It is December in Texas, which means, of course, that's when we dip below the 70s. Maybe into the 30s at night.
On Thursday morning, it was like 57.
Oh my God, that's frigid. Break out the sweaters and the sweatshirts and the sweat jackets and.
Indeed.
I mean, that's where you actually have to start, thinking about what snow chains are, and we probably need them.
What?
I don't even know what they are, but we probably need them.
This is San Antonio, though. That word is never uttered.
That's true. Been 30 years since we had a significant snowfall, but man, it's starting to get a little brisk out there. I am Dave Gramillion. Welcome here to Get Your Geek On Talk Radio, where we will talk Star Wars, Star Trek, DC, Marvel, video gaming, really all things geek that have dominated this little world of ours. See, geek is not really what it was 20 or even 30 years ago. Geek is now in. Geek is very much in. Geek is now mainstream, and that's why you are here to join us as we talk the latest and greatest that is geek right here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer Talk Radio and 930amtheanswer.com. If you're listening to us via the podcast on the website, we thank you for that. If you're following us on Twitter and Instagram, thank you for that. If you're looking at us at Facebook Live, hi, we're waving at you.
Hello.
Over at facebook.com/GYGO official. Or if you're just listening to us on the old-fashioned radio dial.
When the show actually airs at 11 o'clock on Saturday night.
On a Saturday night. Hey, people are driving around Saturday night at 11 o'clock.
That's true.
I mean, people are probably getting out of watching Rogue One. No, that's two weeks from now. The TARDIS sent us a little too far forward there, I think. But when they are getting out of Rogue One, they get into their cars and listen to us on the way home.
That's right. With no reviews, because we're not that type of person.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. No spoilers either. But this is episode number 25.
Our insurance just went down.
Woo! Which means next week will actually be our 6-month anniversary.
Woo!
So that'll be good. Tonight, I have a special guest in studio here. I have San Antonio City Councilman District Numero Uno, Roberto Trevino, here in-house with us. He is a tried and true geek. We're going to have him on here in just a little bit. I'm excited for it, too. A geek in city government.
I know.
Finally!
That's how mainstream geek has become, my friend.
That's it, exactly. Finally. We're going to get some power now. Here it comes.
Well, he has power.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
I think, well, that's true. But, but through us, because we're constituent. Well, I'm not his constituent, but we're...
But you know what?
He's still awesome, though.
If he has friends that want to get involved in city government, he's just got to let us know.
I think from now on, what downtown should have, instead of red, yellow, and green for stoplights, should be red lightsaber, purple lightsaber, green lightsaber.
Yeah, okay, I'm down.
Why not? Let's do it. That'll be fun. I'm sure the state of Texas will have no problem with that whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, goodness. With me, as always, is Goose.
Hi.
He is our sound prognosticator. He is the producer. He is the man, the myth, the legend.
Like him, I have power.
That's very true. So we try to keep Goose happy at, most of the time. I want to make sure that before we get things going that we have everything on our checklist down, because if you're going to have a professional talk radio show, the first ever that talks geeky pop culture in the United States, we got to make sure that everything is set up okay. Do I have something to drink? Because when you talk for an hour, you get thirsty. And yes, I have something right here.
Now, if only we can get those people to sponsor the show, we could show them more of their labels.
Well, really nice. I have to kind of keep the label turned that way. I like to have a back scratcher around. I was doing an interview once with, I think it was James Arnold Taylor, and I got the weirdest itch right in the middle, and it was awkward because that's all I could focus on, so I always keep one handy.
Well, I'm glad it was the back.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, it was only
back.
And always, if you're going to do a geeky show, you got to have a lightsaber. This is my autographed old blue. Got to have a lightsaber with you. I think I'm going to pick up a sonic screwdriver also at some point.
I can pick up a phaser and a communicator. Yeah, I'm waiting for that Bluetooth comm badge to come out.
Yes, there we go.
Buddy.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, well.
And we've added a fourth step also. You got to be wearing something geeky at the time, which I'm wearing my Doctor Who TARDIS t-shirt, so that works. Goose is representing old school Nintendo. He's got that. And the councilman...
He's cosplaying as Tony Stark.
He's cosplaying as Tony Stark. So we're going to roll with that. That'll certainly work. We'll have him on here in just a minute. Let me give you all a hint on what's coming up in the month of December for our show here.
It's packed full of jam.
It is indeed. First, I want to say that we're going to have a look back on 2016, not just for the show, but for geeks in general and how the year has gone. We're also going to have a special guest in a couple of weeks. We are going to have the writer and screenwriter for Hot Shots,
Nice.
Police Academy,
Ooh.
Real Genius,
Okay.
and the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Stir, whip, stir.
Yes, that guy.
Stir, whip, stir.
Yeah, he wrote on there. Pat
Wait,
Proft.
hold on.
Well-
They're the same guy.
Yeah, same guy.
Because,
The same guy who wrote Real Genius.
three
wrote
of
the
those
Star Wars
movies were really good.
Yes, they were. And then there was the holiday special.
Exactly.
We'll have a little chat about that. Pat Proft will be our guest coming up here in a couple of weeks. But now I want to introduce our guest here, because let's not focus on that gentleman when I have this gentleman right here.
That's right. That's rude.
Well, yeah, exceptionally rude. And that's why we're going to stop doing that now and just make a nice subtle transition. I want to introduce the Jedi Master of the San Antonio City Council. He is the grand poobah for the city council in the 7th largest city in the country. Everybody please welcome Roberto Trevino. Councilman, I want to thank you for coming on here, taking time out of your day from busy governing, and coming down here and talking to us. Thank you, sir.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm glad to be here, really. And I enjoyed that intro. That's, again, John Williams. You can't beat it.
Oh, I
No,
love
you
it.
can't.
And that's pretty awesome. Of course, that's...
Although Jerry Goldsmith comes a close second.
Well, I was going to say, you talked about the Star Wars Holiday Special. I was going to say the Bill Murray, Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
The piano bar.
I think I found a new Rogue One.
Yes. Oh, that'd be fantastic. Don't let them in. Hey, I love that. That was classic. Now, a city councilman from District 1, which is the downtown district for
Center City. Actually, it's just south of here. It comes all the way up to the airport, all the way to the medical center, and all of downtown. So it's kind of the centerpiece of the city of San Antonio.
And you are a tried and true geek going way back when.
Way back.
But now you are sitting at the seat of power itself. How did that come about?
Well, I figured I couldn't get on Jedi Council. I might as well get on City Council, right?
There you go.
Absolutely.
Quite a consolation.
They gave you
got
the
there.
rank of master, I hope, when they put you on the council.
Yes, that's automatic. That's what
All
this
right.
pin is about.
Good news.
There we go.
Well, actually, that's the thing you were mentioning. Geek is mainstream, and I think a lot of us grew up that way. And I credit a lot of the person that I became because of some of the things that I enjoyed as a kid. Star Wars made a huge impact on my life, and I was so interested in not only the movie, but the craft of that movie, how it was made, and it was so interesting. I watched everything there was about how they made that movie, and I learned that George Lucas was really into the craft, into the special effects, the sound, all the folks that went with him. And he himself was an architectural student at some point before he went to film school, and so you can see that. You can see that in the movie. You can see that craft, and so I learned to appreciate that, and I would credit a lot of that inspiration for me becoming an architect. I'm an architect by trade, and trained myself to learn that skill. But again, I'm just a super geek. I've designed projects where the clients themselves have asked me to do some special sci-fi stuff in their homes, and I'm happy to do it. And then this evolution into city council was really kind of a next great step for me. It's in line with the mythology of Star Wars, and that you're learning about very basic things that can teach somebody about their lives, about how to give back, how to see beyond yourself, and that's what Star Wars is for people like me and yourselves. It's the modern mythology. Mythology was the first methodology to teach people the difference between good and bad, and we could all learn a really great lesson from some stories or epics like Star Wars. And so I love using that vehicle. I love being a part of it. I love all that is Star Wars. I dressed up many times as my favorite character, which is Han Solo.
Yeah.
For many reasons, and And so since I've been on council, I've actually taken the position as a council member to try to influence other kids, influence this idea that this kind of stuff is not just fun, but it means something, right?
Now, I have to know, since I mean, you're there at the seat of power there in City Hall, any time that you've ever gone into the council chambers, stood up in front of everybody in your best voice and said, "I am the Senate"?
No. Again, because as Han Solo, I mean, I've always considered myself kind of apart from those kind of things. I like to kind of think of myself as a rogue or a scoundrel. And Han Solo, he really played that foil for Star Wars, right? He was like the every person. And, one of my favorite lines in Star Wars was his, which he said, hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster by your side. And really what he was trying to say was, look, hey, everybody could be Han Solo. Everybody could be that guy. You just, and it's choice. He was a guy that you didn't know whether he was going to be good or bad, and he chose to be good. He chose to, fight for the good side. And so I really enjoyed it. Plus, the name is actually Hispanic, Han Solo. Mm-hmm. And then his partner was Chewbacca. Anyway, that's just a joke.
Now, you have done something, though. You did bring a little geeky touch to the council.
Oh yeah, all the time. In fact, I have two very, very accurate Han Solo costumes. I have the A New Hope Han Solo costume, which I've worn to City Hall. I actually had a meeting with the city manager in my full Han Solo costume.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I have probably what's got to be the most accurate and coolest holster, leather holster and blaster. I've made it as accurate and close to the original as possible.
And you got that past security?
Yeah, I did. Luckily I don't have to go through security.
Oh, that's right.
And so, and then I have a Bespin Han Solo, which I actually attended one of our council sessions we call, where we all get together. Press is there, and I'm literally in my Han Solo costume attending a council session. And the best part is that I think people can appreciate what I'm doing. The reason I was there dressed up was not just but because it was May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, and we were doing a lot of great stuff for kids. And I think everybody can appreciate that what these kind of things really permeate our culture in a big way.
Now, the biggest torch that you carry as far as the city is concerned is the revitalization of Little Italy, which is just northwest of downtown, and bringing kind of your architect's touch to downtown in general. Are there any geeky touches that maybe you want to incorporate somewhere in the future?
Well, I'll tell you, today we just approved the new river barge. Have you heard of this? So we have a riverwalk is. We have two things here that are the most popular items in the state of Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The number one is the Riverwalk, right? And number two is the Alamo. And, of course, they're side by side. And we're currently reimagining the Alamo. We've got a huge master plan for that. And it's a great big effort with the state of Texas and the Alamo Endowment and the city of San Antonio. But we're also revamping a big piece of the Riverwalk, which is the barges themselves. And I think everybody's taken a barge ride in the past.
Oh yeah, they're great.
And those barges, they've been around since the World's Fair, 68 World's Fair. Ooh. It's the exact same design. Not much has changed. They're gas powered, and it was time for an upgrade. And so, in that process, we were having a difficult time getting people to respond to a more innovative barge. So I actually was in charge of creating a design competition with the American Institute of Architects, and we created an international design competition, which yielded one of the coolest, most technologically advanced and adaptable barges anyone's ever seen. This thing is seriously, if you really like geeky things, check out our new barge. We just today authorized the manufacture of 43 new barges that'll be coming next summer for the Riverwalk.
Wow.
We currently have the prototype in the water right now, which you have seen here and there. But what we did is we approved the manufacture of the new barges. This is the difference between the old barges. They're 100% truly handicap accessible. They are all electric.
Nice.
They're fully adaptable, meaning we can configure them in almost any shape pattern. We can do all kinds of activities on these barges. Typically, people just take tours on these barges, but imagine having a yoga class. Or having the symphony playing as it's going by. These barges are so configurable. They're really adaptable to so many things. They've got these panels that are water jet cut so that we can put different patterns from papel picado to maybe a Spurs logo on it. These things are beautiful, and it really, again, it goes back to this idea of crafting things, and it's something I'm really proud of.
So since you're in your Tony Stark cosplay, I have to ask, isn't an arc reactor that's powering these boats?
It's funny you mentioned that because we actually try to reach out to the real. We acknowledge that Elon Musk is kind of the real life Tony Stark, right?
Yeah,
we actually reached out to him to see if we can't utilize some of his innovative technologies and batteries to see about these barges. What we have is we've been working with a company called Torqeedo, and it's a package thing, and we've got some really innovative approaches. So no, we don't have an arc reactor, but boy, if we did, it would be pretty cool.
Okay, and you host a movie night at your office.
Yeah, well, you're talking about what we did last year, and we're going to do again this year. And again, I was mentioning the story to you. When I was a kid, and I remember seeing this poster that said, May 1977. I was there, and I'm like, God, man, it made my hair stand up. He's like, yes, I was there, and we got to talking about Star Wars, and my staff started asking me about it. And, The Force Awakens was about to come out, and they said, well, how was it? What do you remember? I said, well, what I remember was we didn't get to see it when it came out. We had to wait till it was at the 25-cent cinema because, when you're being raised by a single mom on a very limited budget, you really are picky about what you get to go do. And sometimes, it's like, well, we can go eat pizza, but we can't go to a movie. So, it wasn't until later that we actually got to see it. But what I do remember was the hysteria. It was like, everybody was talking about this movie. I'm like, oh my God, we got to go see that someday. And so we didn't get to see it until the fall. But again, as I mentioned, it made a huge impact. And my staff said, well, wow, it's too bad you can't do anything about that now. And I thought, what do you mean? I said, well, I don't know. I mean, it would be kind of cool. And I thought, well, wait a minute. What if we took a bunch of disadvantaged kids to go watch this movie? And so we came up with this idea of, well, let's just call Alamo Draft House. So just like that. And I couldn't be more thankful. But we called them, and they didn't give us one theater; they gave us two theaters, and we got to take 270 kids.
Holy cow!
And by the way, these are kids from all over the city. Some of them homeless from some of the shelters. The Boys and Girls Club was our partner, and they bust them in. And we created these VIP badges.
Oh, that's cool.
They brought in the Spurs Coyote dressed up in Jedi garb.
Oh, yes.
Although I think he should have been Chewbacca. And I was, of course, dressed up as Han Solo. We had the superheroes. It was such an amazing day. And then, of course, as I mentioned to you earlier, too, is we created this video intro. And, of course, for me, that was like to see yourself in the Millennium Falcon before the movie, welcoming the kids. And then, by the way, the best part of this at Alamo Draft House, they showed this intro of me and Fred Chapabaca. Fred Chapa, my staffer, but we called him Fred Chapabaca. We filmed it. Then they went into the movie, which was in space too. And then afterwards, the kids said, "You were in the movie?" Because it looked like we were in the movie. So it was just awesome.
And that video that he's referring to, we're actually going to have that up on our YouTube page at some point. We'll get it uploaded up there for you.
We'll have it there by the end of the show tonight. By the end of Taco Collar, Solid Pit, all of that, we'll have it up and ready to go.
And that event was done in conjunction with the Champions of San Antonio.
Yes, the Champions of San Antonio, absolutely. They came and they dressed up, and they modified their uniforms, their costumes for for that, and that was really, I mean, it's just amazing that they, that group is so giving. They're always available, and they have done so much for the community. The kids' faces just light up when they see them. I mean, they have one of the coolest Boba Fetts you've ever seen, and so to be Han Solo, and then there's a Boba Fett next to you, pretty cool.
and you're going to be doing another event with the champions. So
we're doing it again. Rogue One's coming up. And we're going to be doing another video intro, which I'm super excited about. This time I'm going to be here to reveal I'll be Luke Starkiller. And
yes.
You really got to
news on Get Your Geek On right here.
There we go.
Well, you got to be a real geek to know what that means, right? I mean, because quite frankly, I mean, Luke Skywalker was originally Luke Starkiller. So, I'm kind of taking some of the conceptual art that Ralph McQuarrie, and that's another thing. And Ralph McQuarrie really influenced me in my artwork. And what he created for Luke Starkiller, and I'm using that as an inspiration for my costume.
Now, quickly, because we're coming up against the bottom of the hour news break here, but let me ask you just quick off the top of your head here. You get to put yourself on one set for one scene for any geeky movie in all of time and space. You don't get to act; you just get to watch it happen. What scene? What movie? Go.
Princess Leia, Jabba the Hutt.
See Carrie Fisher walking out.
Why not?
Well, I think all of us would have that same answer, to be quite honest.
Yeah, that's.
That was quite an amazing costume.
And I understand that you have a special announcement. This is breaking citywide news that you wish to make right here on Get Your Geek On.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just want to say it's coming up on. We just passed the national elections, but we have our citywide elections coming up in May, and I'm here to clarify and announce that I will be running for District 1 for re-election, and hope to get your vote. Feel like we're doing a lot of great things. We feel like the role that I get to play as a council member, not unlike the roles that we have admired in sci-fi. It's an opportunity to help people. It's an opportunity to utilize resources, to do some really special things for people, and I'm just happy to do it. So I want to keep on doing this job.
That's outstanding. I mean, that's cool. So we have breaking news right there. He will run for the seat one more. It's a three.
At least one more time.
I know they changed the rules. It's now a 3-term limit.
4 2-year terms.
4 2-year term limit. And then what about after?
I tell you what, after the next go-round, if you want to announce something, you're more than welcome to come here and announce it.
Will do. That's a deal.
There we go. All right. So want to thank San Antonio City Councilman District 1 Roberto Trevino for coming out. That is tremendous, what the work that goes on with the Boys and Girls Club. That is really something else that you get a couple of theaters, you get cosplayers to come out and really give these kids a lifetime experiance. Yeah. That's something they're going to remember for the rest of their lives.
And thanks, Alamo Drafthouse, for doing it, first of all.
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody, to your point, we even created these VIP badges, and you hear kids saying, I've never been a VIP. And so, you really changed their lives, and the message was, we hope that this can help them realize that they can follow their dreams.
I love it. And in the true spirit of really any sci-fi movie and adventure. Follow the dreams. Just go out and go do it. I love it. That is fantastic. Okay, real quickly, let's get to a couple of pieces of news here real quick.
Yeah, we got one quick bit of Star Wars related-ish.
Yes, Billy D. Williams, it has been announced, will finally voice Two-Face in the new Lego Batman movie coming out next year. Comes full circle. He started as he played Harvey Dent originally in 1989.
The first live-action Harvey Dent.
The first ever live-action Harvey Dent in 1989, and now he will voice... Comes full circle, coming to Two-Face there. He joins an all-star cast, including Will Arnett, Ralph Fiennes, Michael Cera, Jenny Slate, Zach Galifianakis, Rosario Dawson, and so on and so forth.
And many more.
And also, EA CFO Jorgensen confirmed that there will not be another Star Wars Battlefield game in the series anytime soon. He said, quote, "We won't have another Battlefield for a couple of years. They are looking for ways to deepen engagement without disturbing gameplay, and that the sequel will leverage the new movies." So sorry, prequel fans out there. No prequel for y'all anytime soon. Coming up after the break, it's Attack of the Callers, where you will get to call into the show, talk about any geeky topic you want. Rogue One, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Wonder Woman. It's all coming up right out here after the break on 9:30 a.m. The Answer and 930amtheanswer.com. Attack of the Callers. Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo-hoo! We are here to take calls. We are here to rock the call. We want to hear from the people. I am a man of the people. Without the people, we clearly wouldn't be here. So
that's true.
We want to give back. The first show of the month is always for y'all. Now, in the first half, we did have a guest. We had City Councilman Roberto Trevino, where he formally announced he's running for his seat again. Right
Breaking news on Get Your Geek On.
Breaking news right here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. So,
you're home for breaking news and stimulating talk, by the way.
Absolutely. So here's what we want now. What we want to do is we want to hear from y'all. You hear from me the rest of the month. Now it's your turn to chime in. The phone number to call in locally, 210-308-8867. Or if you're not local, we have international callers. I love it all the time. It's fantastic.
All the way from Canada.
Last month we had a caller from Virginia and a caller from the Big Apple, New York City. Woo-hoo. So we want to hear from anybody everywhere.
Start spreading the news.
The long distance number is 1-866-308-8867. That's long distance. And we can talk about really anything geeky you want to talk about. You want to talk about Rogue One? Are you excited? Are you concerned? There are some people out there who are not sure if it'll be as good as The Force Awakens. Some people are not sure if The Force Awakens was even that good to begin with. Do you already have your tickets? If so, I want to hear, where are you going? When are you going? You got a midnight showing? You got a...
Are you going in costume?
Are you going in costume? Obviously, they have the whole no blaster, no lightsaber rule, but you can still wear robes and all that.
Some theaters are okay with this thing.
That's true. You got to check with the theater first, though. You got to check their policy before you go on. All right, we have our first caller of the night. Bam, just like that. So here we go. Let's hear from Jay in San Antonio. Jay, are you ready to get your geek on?
Hi, thank you. Thank you for taking my call. I live in District 1, and unfortunately I've had 3 murders on my street this year. 2 of them were reported in the news, 1 of them wasn't, so there may have been more murders. But I was just horrified to learn that Mr. Trevino was thinking about running again, because it's been an absolute nightmare living here. With him as our council person, he's been completely unresponsive to just the invasion of homeless people that have been coming through our neighborhood since they've been being driven out of downtown area because of the murders and assaults on the tourists.
Jay,
so I'd like him to please think about the people of his district, and maybe instead of these grandiose plans that he has, just taking care of us and taking care of my neighbors have moved out. They were robbed 3 times in 1 month. They even stole their dogs. So that's just another abandoned house for the homeless to occupy. So I really hope that he, if he is planning on running again, that he consider taking care of us.
Yeah, now I'll tell you what we'll do is we will certainly pass those concerns along to him. I have his email address. We can always talk to his office, and we'll pass that along. I promise you that.
3 murders, and it's been about a month that they occurred in on one street in his district.
I got you. Well, thanks for calling in. We appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for calling to get your geek on. All right, so that first call right there, and we're going to have to. We will pass that information on.
Yes,
that's absolutely true.
Yes,
I talk regularly with his office, so we'll pass that along. Now, Rogue One, right now they're talking about $130 million. $130 million is the over-under right now. That's what the prediction is. I think it's going to go over, but I'm not sure. And this is opening weekend, of course, domestically. And I think it's going to go over, but I'm not sure by how much.
Okay. I'm just interested to see a really good Star Wars movie. I mean, it to me it looks like a good war movie, a good action movie. And as much as we've seen a lot of lightsabers and everything else in these past few... we have another call?
We do.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, man, they are coming in hot and heavy.
Yeah,
I love
heavy.
it. We
Here we
have
go.
Kyle from Michigan. All right, Kyle, are you ready to get your geek on?
Yes, I am.
All right. What you got for us here?
So, you know how Kathleen Kennedy hinted at the possibility of dropping the Skywalker saga after Episode 9 and just kind of doing standalones?
That's true. That's they're not even sure which way the wind is blowing just yet.
Reported here on Get Your Geek On last week. I believe it was.
Absolutely, that was right.
Breaking news.
Yep. Do you think that they should possibly do a thing where, like, after, say, 15, 20 years, around the same time as the wait between Return of the Jedi and Phantom Menace, to then do another generation of Skywalkers and then just keep doing that so that the Skywalker story maintains some form of freshness?
It's difficult to say right now because, of course, we don't know what's going to go on with Episode 8 and 9. We don't even know if Rey really is a Skywalker. There's a lot of feeling she could be a Kenobi instead. But I'll tell you
yeah,
this.
I thought she was a Skywalker at first, but then after a while, just reading the novels and all that, I'm starting to go, it wouldn't make logical sense.
But here's the thing, though. You have raised a fascinating point. What if they keep doing Star Wars movies? All right, now we're used to having a decade or two gap where there are no Star Wars movies. But what if they keep doing Star Wars stories? I'm using those air quotes, and then all of a sudden in 2025 or 2030, another Skywalker saga.
Right. The way I've always kind of seen a lot of the Star Wars movies is everything in the background is just so fascinating. I think every character, whether it be a droid or a stormtrooper or a rebel soldier, you could probably just do a movie just on that person alone. I mean, because that's just how expansive it is.
When we interviewed Taylor Gray, which you can find that interview on our podcast at 930amtheanswer.com, we interviewed Taylor Gray, and he said that's the role he wants. He wants to do a movie where he is the common man. He is the grunt, the soldier. It'd be really cool to see that. And then all of a sudden, in 2030, I like Kyle's idea here.
Right.
All of a sudden, it's the Skywalker saga returns to us. That is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I love that idea.
Yeah, and that way, a new generation can get their Skywalkers, because I'm with someone raised on the prequels. My godson is 7 years old, so he's the perfect age to start with this era. Then 10, 15 years down the line, the next group of kids have their group of kids to look up to.
That's an excellent idea. It's a generational thing. I love this.
Yeah.
Kyle, thanks for calling in. We appreciate you taking the time here on Get Your Geek On.
No problem. Have a great time.
What a terrific idea. A generational Skywalker story.
Mm-hmm.
Every 10, 15, 20 years, we come back to the Skywalker. Now, of course, that means, this thing will be like The Simpsons. It just won't go away. We're going to have Star
So
Wars
here's the
forever.
thought on that. You have your anthology movies that introduce characters, and then we bring in the Skywalkers, and then a la Avengers, all the anthology
anthologies.
stories,
right?
And, end right there.
Oh my God! I think we just need to form Lucasfilm again right here. This is it right
Kathleen,
here.
if you're listening,
this is the direction.
I got her on speed dial.
If you want to give us points, we'd appreciate that. You don't have to name anything up front, just a percentage.
Yes, that would be good.
all.
I would take the Sir Alec Guinness percentage. 3% of the box office gross. Thank you, would be fine. And we want to hear from you about what do you think about a generational Skywalker saga. I like the way this show y'all are changing the direction of the show. It's perfect. Call in 210-308-8867 locally, or you can call us long distance, 1-866-308-8867. A generational Skywalker.
That is a
By the
story.
way, I was answering calls, so I didn't get a chance to answer your questions.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I have my tickets for Rogue One.
Where are you going?
I'm going to the Santikos Palladium IMAX Theater on Sunday, the Sunday of, at 10 a.m.
Nice.
And I'm not going in costume.
Yeah, I won't. Well, I am going in costume. I'd like to formally announce that I will be costuming as me. I think that I've really got the look down.
Wow, that is amazing. You even look like Dave.
I think I've got the look down. I think I've been working on it.
Mm-hmm. After 30 some odd years of working on it.
Hey, that's dedication to the craft right there, my friend.
So,
that's dedication.
So I don't know if we've gotten to the second question yet. That's on my notes.
Oh, yes. The next question that I want to discuss, and you can still call in and talk Star Wars, or be like Kyle and just totally.
These questions are more for us, so that way there's just not dead air.
Yeah, there we go. So which movie do you want to see more? We saw the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer released tonight.
Well, two of y'all did. I was on the road for 3 hours.
That's right. So Guardians of the Galaxy 2 trailer released tonight, and that movie's coming out at the end of April. Or are you more hyped for Wonder Woman in June?
Okay, so you first,
Okay,
Mr. Hostman.
all right. So the host here, that would be me. I'm more hyped for Wonder Woman. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, don't get me wrong, is going to be a fun movie, a great movie. But Wonder Woman is new. It's fresh.
Right.
I want to see something that excites me. I want to see, okay, no, don't even take it that way. No, keep it clean. No, the concept, the movie itself,
Suddenly,
the story.
every Wonder Woman fan is going to be calling in at this moment.
Oh, God, Serena Hernandez is going to be laughing if she's listening right
yeah,
now. That'd be fantastic. Speaking of which, what's that number again? It's
210-308-8867 or toll free 866-308-8867.
I'm more excited for the Wonder Woman movie. It's new, it's fresh, it's exciting. Peter, what do you got?
As much as I loved Guardians of the Galaxy, and I saw it at least 3 times when it came out, I'm going to have to say Wonder Woman, because we've seen Guardians already. Okay, but aside from from what we saw in Batman versus Superman, this is a brand new take on Wonder Woman. I mean, when I went to go see Batman versus Superman, as soon as we saw her, everybody in the audience cheered, because this is the first time we had seen a live-action Wonder Woman
On the big
since the 70s.
Since the 70s, since Thunder Carter.
Yeah.
Goose.
So I'm excited about the Guardians soundtrack.
Well, yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm more excited about the Wonder Woman movie because you've got one main character, and with that one main character, you're going to be able to do a lot of development. Whereas with Guardians, you're trying to service 5 main characters.
It's an ensemble.
So we learned a lot about each of them in the first movie, but trying to move their individual stories along and figure out what motivates Drax. Who is
Rocket? Where did Rocket come from?
Yeah, and Groot too.
And Groot.
And
baby Groot.
Peter Quill's father. What's going on there?
Yeah, what's going on there?
Outside of what's shown in the animated series on Disney XD. But with Wonder Woman, we are learning that's their origin story. It's told in flashback. It's a prequel to Batman versus Superman.
Now, the last time, Chris Pine will be in this movie.
Yeah, he will.
And this will be the first time that Chris Pine has acted not as the leading man with a leading woman since anybody? Princess Diaries 2 with Anne Hathaway.
No, he was in Into the Woods.
He was? Oh, he was. You're right. That completely slipped
Into the
my
Woods
mind.
was a dang good movie.
It was a dang good movie. That was a lot of fun. Okay, yeah. Okay,
I missed that one, sadly.
You should go watch it. It's really good.
You really should.
I plan to.
It's a musical, though.
So we're talking Rogue One. We're talking the direction this is going to go, because Kathleen Kennedy has pretty much admitted Lucasfilm isn't sure what they're doing with this yet. I mean, that's basically what it boils down to.
Well,
no comment on it, especially from.
Here's the thing, though. Outside of this year, we've only had Skywalker movies.
Yes.
So they don't know, because they don't know this is a risk.
I'm not counting the Ewok Adventures.
No. Well.
Not going there.
No, but Rogue One's a risk. They've never told a non-Skywalker.
That's true.
Big feature Star Wars movie.
Gigantic.
And as it is, because there's all the spin-offs that are looking at right now. I mean, they still want to do
and quite frankly, there's at least 2 of the Skywalker movies I wish they didn't tell.
Right. But there's still the Han Solo thing that I'm kind of. I'm not too sure about the actor who's playing him, because he looks kind of.
Well, we'll see.
I reserve judgment on that because I've thought the same thing about Andrew Garfield with Spider-Man.
And I thought the same thing about Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Oh, gosh, that was awesome.
I mean, that right there.
And really, I thought the same thing about Ben Affleck and Batman.
Anytime somebody says, I can't picture this person playing this, I always talk about Heath Ledger. Because nobody saw him. Come on, give me a break.
Everybody was thinking Brokeback Gotham.
Okay, 2004. Somebody came to you and said, hey, you see that guy who plays Human Torch in Fantastic Four? Yeah. He's going to be Captain America one day.
Get out.
No, that I could see.
Yeah.
That I could see. But Heath Ledger was the pretty boy. He was a Knight's Tale. He was Brokeback Mountain.
He was the Patriot.
And he was the Patriot. And going from that
to the Joker.
To the Joker is such a great twist. Now, the Human Torch Captain America is not that great a leap. All you have to do to play Captain America is not be obnoxious.
You have to be a little bit more than not be obnoxious.
Well, but that's like 80% of it right there. But I want to hear from people. I want to hear about your thoughts about Rogue One, about where Star Wars is going in general, and do you want to see Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or Wonder Woman, if you had a choice? Now, of course, you could see that one later. I mean, you could see it first. Which one are you going to go see first? And that number to call in is 210-308-8867. Then 1-866, rather, 308-8867 for people calling long distance. We have open line. Please give us a call. I want to hear from y'all. This is the show where you get to sound off to us. And like Kyle, kind of drive the direction of the show. You want to talk Doctor Who? You want to talk Sherlock Season 4? This is the time to do it.
The Return of Dr. Mysterio comes out in a few weeks.
Ooh, who's going to be the villain for Spider-Man Homecoming?
I don't think that it's been released yet.
It hasn't been released yet, so we can speculate about who it could be.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, this past week, I know we kind of talked about it last week, but they had the big crossover on CW.
Oh, that was awesome.
The four-part crossover.
Yes. And I, since I don't have a public Facebook page, I'm not going to really mention too much, but I did some screen grabs from the hall or hangar owned by Star Labs, and somehow, meanwhile, at the hall or hangar owned by Star Labs just doesn't have the same ring as meanwhile at the Hall of Justice.
Absolutely,
But they did a great job on that scenery shot.
A four-part crossover.
That was amazing.
I'm trying to remember any franchise that has ever done something like that before.
Law and Order has done something similar.
CSI did something like
but they didn't have superheroes.
No, but it was. But they did have like three series on at one time, and they did crossovers that encompassed two of them.
I remember it was CSI Las Vegas, went to Miami, and they wrapped it up because the guy fled to New York.
Yeah,
and all three, it was
everything followed.
Yeah, and then Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and Law and Order SVU. Because they all take place in the same universe.
That sounds about right. Now, before we get to our next caller here, I want to take a minute to talk about our sponsor, Laser Legend. Laser Legend, located on the north side on 1604, on Lookout Road near I-35. This place is fantastic. This place is a 4,000 square foot arcade. They have party rooms to spare. They have food. They have beverages. They have some really, really terrific prizes that you can win, including, I love this, a cosmonaut helmet, an actual cosmonaut training helmet. It's fantastic. They also have a 2-story laser tag, and they have indoor miniature golf. This is the place you want to go. Laser Legend is the place you want to go. Check this out. And I am proud to admit, I didn't get first place back. No, I'm not proud. I got bumped off Star Trek pinball.
Tragedy.
Somebody got 37 million points on that. Now it was down for maintenance for a little bit. Didn't have as much time to work on it as I wanted to. I got the second and third highest score, but number one eludes me. I'm going back. I am going to reclaim my title.
So now do you have second, third, and fourth?
Second, third, and fifth.
Oh, wow.
Second, third, and fifth. So I've got 3 of the top.
And my
5.
finger's on that button ready for you to say it, too.
Second, third, and fifth. So I've got that, but I am issuing a challenge to San Antonio. If you go to Laser Legend and you get the high score on any game that they have, I will go out and try to beat it.
You have to let us know.
Yeah, of course, you got to let us know. You can't.
And
that helps.
We did one more thing. If you beat Dave's score and you let us know,
you get a puppy.
No, better still. You let us know and you pick which of our themes you want played in honor of that achievement, and we will play it.
Guaranteed. You earned it.
Yeah.
You absolutely.
So we're talking like Marvel, Star Trek, Star Wars, DC, Rogue One. That one's only for a couple of more weeks, though.
True.
Video games.
Yep.
We'll play the Star Trek music.
Of course.
My favorite Star Trek music. We will play the Throne Room, Amok Time, Iron Man by Black Sabbath, whatever those things that we have in the library.
We will do it.
We will do it.
Absolutely. But you have to go to Laser Legend to do it.
And you have to tag Get Your Geek On in the photo. 1604
and Lookout Road near I-35. All right, so we're talking about, it's going to be Christmas time. And I can recall very fondly Doctor Who Christmas episodes, especially the Matt Smith ones. Those episodes really tear at your heartstrings. I think my favorite one might be the episode where no spoilers or anything. I'm not giving anything away. The one where he keeps going back to the person who's let out of cryogenics on Christmas Eve, and then is put back in for another year.
Yeah,
and he keeps coming back over and over again.
Oh, that was like the Dickens.
Yes, that was it.
There was the Dickens adaptation.
It was the Dickens adaptation, and Matt Smith kept coming back time and time again for this person in their 24 hours of freedom. And I was blown away by that episode. I mean, Stephen Moffat, I swear, I think he lives off the tears of the fans. I think that's how he survives, because he writes some of the most heart-wrenching episodes of any series I've ever seen. I have never been as emotionally invested or touched in a series as I have by Doctor Who.
Yes, I agree.
And that is, I mean, I don't cry during Star Wars movies. There's been no real moment that has gotten me that emotionally invested. Star Trek, I'll admit there are a couple of that get me weepy, but Doctor Who, oh my God, man, that one just rips it in your heart.
There were two moments in Star Trek over the past 13 Star Trek movies.
Spock dying.
Well, actually, no, I already knew he was back because I'd watched Star Trek 4 first.
Oh, okay.
Because that came out in 1986, and I was 8, and I hadn't seen the other ones yet. But Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, at the very end,
second star to the right,
when Kirk gives his log to them and their posterity, do we ordain our future, and having them boldly go where no one had gone before. You knew that was the last time he was going to give a log entry.
Yep, that was it.
And then
they sail off into the
sunset. Into the sunset.
And then Star Trek Into Darkness, because I knew what happened in the original timeline. And when Kirk went into the engine, I was like, no. And because I knew they couldn't do what they did before because it wasn't Spock. And I know that this one has no rules.
Right, exactly. Anything can happen.
Then I was like, no.
Now, I have to admit, when I got a little misty when Kirk was, not when he went in, but when he was dying and he said, Spock, I'm scared. That vulnerability, dude, in the theater, man, that
especially for Captain Kirk.
Right there. So that one for Star Trek, and The Inner Light, when Picard gets the flute back at the end, the rescue flute, and he clutches it right up to his chest, and there's not a sound other than the hum of the engine, and you're just like, dude.
Speaking of, did you catch in Legends the Star Trek reference?
No, I didn't catch that one.
They had gone back to 1951 in the Wave Rider. Yeah. And Felicity and Cisco were with them.
Oh, yes.
And then, because Felicity can't speak at the time, and so they're off, Cisco and Felicity are having to stay on the ship, and she can't talk right, and so she says, Jarlak Enchilada Tanagra.
She's a hoot. I tune in a lot of times. Just then again, who doesn't always tune in just to see her.
Why do you think that we haven't seen a lot of Christmas episodes done on other shows? I mean, it doesn't even have to be science fiction shows, because I know Star Trek is above all that, and Star Wars doesn't have it.
Right. But we won't get into holiday.
Well, we've seen Christmas around those shows. I mean, it wasn't specifically a Christmas episode, but they were Christmas times.
Oh, sure, yeah. Maybe they had a tree in the background, or there was a group singing off somewhere.
No, they've done that in The Flash.
Of course, they did. Let's not forget, there was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Christmas special.
There was a He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special.
There was a He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special. There was a Star...
No, it was a holiday special.
It was a holiday special. It wasn't actually... Remember,
by the way, we will next week.
Yes, week after.
Week after next.
Week after next, we will have the writer of the Star Wars holiday special talking to us on the show.
And technically, it was not a Christmas episode, because I remember it came in the week of Thanksgiving.
That's true, and they celebrate Life Day. So, all right, so that's going to be getting close to wrapping it up here. So, what do we have coming up? All right, so next week we have the founder, the creator, the God mode person of Wookiee Walk here in San Antonio. He will be here in studio to talk to us about the Wookiee Walk. And then the week after that will be Pat Proft, a tremendous and celebrated writer of Hollywood movies, including The Police Academy, Hot Shots Part 2. And the Star Wars holiday special. And then we're going to kind of take it easy for a little bit on the guests. We're going to be on the down low because it's going to be Christmas time, so that'll be cool. And then 2017, we're going to PAX South.
We are there.
We are going to PAX South. It is the gaming mecca, and we will be there for that. So, all right, so special thanks and shout out to Laser Legend for sponsoring the show. Don't forget to check us out. Our podcast is on 930amtheanswer.com, so you can check our interviews with Amy Jo Johnson, with Taylor Gray, with Jeremy Bullock, with other guests right there. You can check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/GYGO official. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Stay geeky out there, everyone, and be sure to get your geek on every single day.